you guys, it's Christina from Rawfully Organic and from Fully Raw. And I'm here today because I'm super stoked to make with you every single person's favorite recipe. Raw, deep dish, lasagna. Just kidding. I think this is so exciting because everybody's always looking for an awesome lasagna recipe with low fat in it, right? We all want like the perfect recipe that we can eat like literally the whole dish, right? Because a lot of the times you see these high fat, raw, gourmet dishes that use so much fat that it's like you feel sick afterwards. I'm getting ready to liberate you. All you need for this recipe, in addition with these ingredients, is a deep dish, one that you can preferably eat all on your own, and we're gonna also need the following ingredients. We're gonna need zucchini, Swiss chard, spinach, arugula, parsley, and cilantro, a green onion, 1 garlic clove, cherry tomatoes, and if optional, if you don't want to use pine nuts, you can use sunflower seeds. Okay, so I've got most of the stuff already cut up and prepared for this recipe, but it's gonna be super epic meal time. And all right, if you want to see this recipe when we're done, you can also visit rawfullyorganic.com or fullyraw.com, and I'll paste the link below in this YouTube video. All right, you guys, let's get started. Okay, so we're gonna make this recipe in just a few easy steps, but I wanna share with you that this recipe is all about layering, and there's no wrong way to make it. So I want you to be as creative as you possibly can with this recipe, and don't be afraid to do it wrong, because guess what? This is your lasagna, and you're the one who's gonna enjoy it. So, you're gonna need a food processor, a Vitamix, and, well, obviously a knife, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my first tool, which is it's like a handheld mandolin slicer. I got this at Sur La Table for like $4. I teach my Eat It Raw classes at Sur La Table, and I have a video where I recommend all my favorite tools in there if you want to go check that out. But basically, the way that this works is I can slice zucchini really, really thin in long strips with this. So, you're gonna take your zucchini, I'm gonna do a demo, and you're gonna chop off the ends so that it fits perfectly in your bowl, right? Like at least end to end. You don't want it to be too long, you don't want it to be too short. So when you cut it in half, and I've already cut this one, you're gonna see that it's really nice and flat, right? You're gonna take your mandolin, you're gonna hold it over. I always like to put the big side first. And please watch your fingers, because when you put it long like this, unless you have a professional mandolin, it gets really hard to slice. And then it comes into like strips like this, right? And then you can make long, beautiful strips of zucchini, just like this. And this is gonna be the thin layer of our lasagna, right? Instead of using pasta, we're using zucchini. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and I have a whole plate of zucchini already mandolin sliced for us. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put this in the bottom layer of our deep dish. And these zucchinis are so epically sweet. By the way, all of our produce is actually raw, organic, fully raw from our beloved co-op here in Houston, Texas called Rawfully Organic. You guys can always check out that website. All right, so I'm always gonna make my bottom layer the thickest one because I want it to hold everything that I'm about to layer in it, right? That's layer number 1. Layer number 2, the green sprinkles. Okay, we're gonna play with some greenery now for the next layer. What I've done is I've taken a bowl of fresh, organic spinach, and you can take whatever you want. If you wanna take some of these leaves and you wanna put them in some of the bottom layer here and just kind of layer them on top of your zucchini, you can do that as well. That creates a nice little bottom layer down there if you want. Or what I prefer to do, since I like my lasagna to be really condensed and a really deep dish and not that, I'm gonna take some of these spinach leaves, right? I'm gonna stick them in my food processor, and I'm also gonna stick them in there with some flat Italian parsley, and I've chopped off most of the bottom of the stems because I don't want it to be too stemmy. And then I'm gonna stick in a lot of cilantro. Talk about a cilantro fiend. That is definitely me. So we're gonna stick those in there and I'm gonna play with it until they become really shredded in tiny little bits. These are all in little bitty pieces. Oh my God, that smells so fresh. You can kind of see all of the greenery in there. It's like shredded spinach, cilantro, and parsley right there. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this and I am just going to sprinkle this on top as another layer in my lasagna. Okay? Oh yeah. And this mix in general actually makes it really like herbaceously and greenery and like just strong. It's a very potent smell, but it's pretty awesome. Okay, that's one more green layer. So there are two different layers of sauces that we're gonna make for this. The first one you already know how to make. It's my Epic Raw Marinara, and I'm gonna make it really fast because you already have that one on YouTube and you can go watch that after this. Okay, so the only difference between this marinara and the other raw marinara that I made is that I really want my sauce to be like chunky and not as watery. So believe it or not, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this one and I'm just gonna kind of strain it in here. That way I get all the pulp, and I'm just gonna let all of the juice drip into this little bowl right here. Because what that is gonna do is it's gonna make my dressing a lot less watery so that it doesn't get all watery at the bottom of my noodles, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave this, I'm gonna strain this for a few minutes, right? And while I'm doing that, we're gonna make my pine nut cheese, low fat. For the cheese, it's not really supposed to be meant to eat like on its own, okay? But it's gonna taste really good when you put it with all the layers already in the zucchini lasagna. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my Vitamix right here, and I'm just gonna chop up a few simple ingredients. I'm gonna take my zucchini, right? And I'm just gonna chop it really simply in the squares, just like this. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add it in the Vitamix. And I'm gonna use a 1/4 cup of pine nuts, which is low fat raw vegan 80-10-10, 1 garlic clove. If you wanna add in lemon juice, you can, but I don't really want mine to be lemony, so I'm just gonna blend those 3 things and it's gonna make a really like thick type of cream. After that's done, yeah, you know, it actually does taste pretty freaking awesome. You can eat it on your own if you want, but I wouldn't recommend that. Okay, so now here's the cool part. We have this, right? You can do one of two things. You can add in another layer of zucchini, or what we're gonna do is I wanna show you guys this. Now that I have my raw marinara, I wanna show you that after I played with it a little bit, look at how much water came out of that. That's like almost a whole bowl of like juice that I made, right? You can totally take that and drink it later. It's so freaking good. Okay, anyways, you see now that after it's strained, do you see how close to like a sun-dried tomato pesto this kind of is? Which is awesome because it's not sun-dried at all, it's not dehydrated, it's totally fresh. All I did was take out the juice and you can drink the juice later. So, what I'm gonna do, and I know you guys always hate it when I use my hands, but guess what? I'm a total big fan of using my hands. I love to just spread this tomato layer on here, and I'm not gonna use it all because I'm gonna layer it on. Check that out. Oh yeah. Right? And I'm just gonna add that tomato layer in there right now. Keep in mind you can always make more pesto from your tomato sauce. I always like a lot, so I make quite a bit. You can always make more. All right, so that's one layer, right? I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. And then we're adding in another zucchini layer. So I'm gonna flatten that down, but keep in mind, I'm gonna make it like really flat and I'm gonna smush it in because I want this to be deep dish, baby. Deep dish. Make it really smooshy in there. Oh yeah, feel it come out. It's so nice, it's so nice. All right, so that's one more layer. And on top of that, add in a layer spread of pine nut cream. You don't want to use it all because you can always add in another layer later. Oh yeah, baby. check that out, right? You want to add that in. Oh, but maybe you want to take those leftover sprinkles that you had from before, and maybe you want to add in a little bit more of that spinach sprinkle in here. Oh yeah, check that out. Oh yeah, buongiorno. All right, so adding in a little bit more of that on top just adds that much more flavor. Oh yeah. And I'm gonna take us back to the food processor one more time, because what I really wanna do is, now that I've done a spinach, parsley, and cilantro sprinkle, I'm gonna do an arugula and green onion sprinkle. So you're gonna take your arugula that's in here, and if you want, I mean, these leaves are so delicate, you can just kind of like sprinkle them in as well if you want to, which is awesome. But I'm gonna take the majority of them and I'm gonna stick them in here for proper shredding. And I'm gonna stick in that one green onion that I had. Bam! All right, let's shred this. Okay. Woo, baby! Woo, that is strong stuff. We're gonna take out the blade. Yeah. And we're gonna take this green onion arugula mix and we're gonna sprinkle that in on top right here, because that sucker is like the most potent awesomeness you've ever smelled in your life, right? And guess what I'm gonna do now? I'm gonna add in one more layer of zucchini. And I know this is a messy recipe, but you know what? It's so freaking awesome that you just can't help but like love it. Adding in another layer of zucchini. Bam. Oh, did you see that? Did you see that? Oh, the cream just like totally squirted up the side. Oh, that's so nice. Oh, look at that. Oh God, I'm sorry. I get so excited. I get so excited. Okay, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna add in the last little bit of tomato sauce on here. That's gonna help with the spoon. We're gonna add in the last little bit of tomato sauce. I'm just gonna spread this around. Maybe I should have made more tomato sauce. It's all about the tomatoes in here, right? I'm gonna add in more tomato sauce. If you wanna add in more of your pine nut cream, you can as well. Just kind of like put all that in there. Oh yeah. Right, we're gonna spread that around. Oh yeah, check out that mix. So awesome. Then I'm gonna add in more of my sprinkles, whatever I have left. Right? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So pretty. I've gone and I've kind of sliced up these itty bitty cherry tomatoes. And I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna layer on top of here. And this makes it just like, this makes that top part like just totally worth it. It's epic. I'm gonna say epic because this is epic mealtime right here. This lasagna is just amazing and ready to go. All right, so I've added in all these tomatoes. So amazing. And guess what, people? You can leave it like this, or you can add in another line of lasagna layers right here. Check that out. It's just so awesome. All these layers in here. Oh my gosh, if you don't love this recipe, I feel so sorry for you because it's so good. And this whole thing, guess what? You can eat by yourself and not feel guilty because it is that good. Check that out. Can you see the layers in there, people? Doesn't that look like an amazing deep dish lasagna? And that is what I'm talking about. Yeah, this is so good. Okay, so for presentation's sake, if you want to take some cherry tomatoes and surround it around the plate, you can. But that is my epic deep dish raw lasagna, low fat, 80-10-10, raw, vegan, gluten-free, processed-free. Only takes a few minutes to make. I've literally just posted this recipe on rawfullyorganic.com. If you want to watch more of our YouTube videos, you can watch them on youtube.com/rawfullyorganic, or you can go to fullyraw.com. I'm fully motivated and inspired to help you go raw and to show you how easy this can be, because that's what I do. So let me do that for you so that you can be fully raw and feel the best that you can feel, and so that you can eat a total deep dish lasagna all by yourself and not feel guilty about it. Now that, my friends, is raw freedom. Hope you enjoy this recipe, and I'll talk to you later.